Hello, online leaders. My name is Mary Zaida Torres, and today we're going to learn about coping with anger. So let's get started. So today's agenda, I'm going to introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. We're also going to learn about anger, how you feel it, and how to express it, as well as how to cope. Alrighty, so this is me. My name is Mary Zaida Torres. Most of my students call me Z, and I am going to be the facilitator today. I'm a licensed mental health counselor here in Florida, and I've worked with students at your age as well as those in college. And I really enjoy art, so don't be surprised if in future activities you're going to see some art activities. As I was putting all of this together, I started to do some research, and I found this quote, and I thought it was perfect. Not the fastest horse can catch the spoken word in anger. Has that ever happened to you before? Something happens and you become really upset and you say something hurtful or perhaps something you regret. Perhaps instead of saying something, you took action and did something that you later regret. This is why when we become angry, it's so important to take a moment and to think about the consequences before taking action. It is that very pause or that very break that could potentially save you from having heavier feelings like regret, guilt, or even severe consequences. So what exactly is anger? Well, believe it or not, anger is actually a masked emotion. A masked emotion is what we display to others to cover up what we really feel. So some common emotions that anger masks are sadness, fear, and embarrassment. Anger acts as a protector because we may not be ready to deal with these emotions. So for example, you're in class and you hear someone talking about you, and you react in anger. Perhaps you yell at the other student or you flip a chair and then you get pulled out of class by the assistant principal. Do you think that you are really upset at the student or perhaps feel embarrassed about the rumors? And if your first reaction is to yell or become aggressive, how do you think that would affect your ability to have friends or to learn in school if you're getting constantly pulled in and out of class? Or perhaps shutting down and not being able to listen to what the teacher's saying? I don't know about you, but I think it'd be hard to want to be friends or even just hang out with someone who's constantly yelling for no reason or took out their frustrations on me. Now that we know what anger is, did you know that there are a variety of words or synonyms for anger? This is the feeling wheel. It's one of my favorite tools to show students. Take a look at all the words in the red section. All these words are used to describe anger. So we have here embarrassed, jealous, hateful, critical, irritated, provoked. Have you heard any of these? Or have you even kind of used any of these words to describe yourself? Perhaps some of these you've heard and others you haven't, but they're all related to that masked emotion of anger. Okay. Maybe you don't have the right words, but you perhaps know some adjectives to describe it. So let's take a look at this web here. So we have fear, we have tears, loss of control, rage, shouting, kicking, screaming, clenched teeth, even we have some explosion, right? So we have a lot of these words that describe what anger is. Nonetheless, all of these words are things that help us connect and identify what exactly anger is. Now, let's kind of take a second and think about where anger shows up in our body. There was a really cool study actually done in Europe where they had 700 participants identify where they felt certain emotions in their body and to what intensity, right? So as you're looking at the pictures, the yellow, the red, and the black, the red signified most intensity. So, as you can see in the diagram, anger was primarily felt in the chest, the head, and the limbs. So, why do you think the limbs? What are some things that you do with your arms and your feet when you get upset? Or maybe when other people get upset? That's right, punching and kicking. Your body also increases in temperature, your heart rate increases, and your body goes into what's called flight or flight, right? Your body doesn't know if it needs to protect you or if it needs to run away. Remember, your body and your brain tries its very best to protect you with what it knows how to. This is why it's so important to teach your brain and your body healthy ways to cope. The goal of this presentation isn't to get rid of all of your negative thoughts and feelings. That's impossible. The goal is to change how you respond to these feelings and these thoughts. And this is where we learn about coping skills. So coping skills are a technique, a strategy, a method used by a person to deal with stressful situations. Coping skills falls into two different categories, healthy and not healthy. So healthy coping skills are things that really help us kind of process and understand what exactly is going on. So this can happen through talking about it, getting help from a counselor, an adult, even connecting with some friends or even family, and being able to really identify what it is that you're feeling. So kind of like we talked about anger being a mask emotion, if we're just thinking we're angry all the time and not realizing that we're hurting, we're not able to really work with that hurt part or identify what's really hurting us. Then there's the not healthy stuff, or the non-healthy coping skill. These are techniques that kind of work. They kind of act like a band-aid, but what they do is they cause us to avoid the actual feeling and the processing of the feeling. So that may lead to avoidant behavior, so perhaps skipping a class that you are not doing too good in. That could be using drugs to kind of numb the feelings, or even hurting ourselves, or resorting to violence to get a release of these feelings. Okay, so let's find out where you feel anger in your body. Okay, I want you to take out a sheet of paper, and if you need to pause this video, you can. And I want you to draw a body figure, kind of like the one I have here. All right, so I want you to think about the last time that you were really upset. Where were you? Was anyone around you? Can you think about what really got you upset? Where did you feel it in your body? And when you figure that out, I want you to color that part of your body, kind of like in that first diagram that I showed you. Then I want you to write down what was your body's reaction. You can draw or you can write, whatever it is that you feel. What did you do to feel better? And again, you can pause this video at any time. Alrighty, you've completed the activity and now you're looking at a menu of coping skills to try. For those of you who perhaps identified that your anger was housed in your hands or in your legs, something physical may be a really good fit for you. So that could be finding a video on YouTube, going for a workout video on YouTube. That could be going for a run, a walk, a swim, or even cleaning your house in your bedroom. I'm sure your parents would appreciate that. Perhaps you're a little bit more on the artistic side, maybe a little introverted. Taking some time to really think about it and personify, which means give a non-human or real thing human characteristics, really helps kind of take out that anger and put it on paper. You can scribble. Crayons are amazing because you can scribble super, super hard, and if you break it, it's okay because broken crayons still color. And writing down all of your feelings and thoughts and then painting over them. It's a really, really good way to kind of get all that anger out. Then, some of you may be wanting to connect your mind and your body together, and that's where mindfulness comes into play, and stay tuned for future videos on this. But we're going to be talking about connecting your mind and your heart and your body all together, and that can be done through meditations, which you can find on YouTube and Insight Timer, also through yoga, and progressive muscle relaxation. I love progressive muscle relaxation, basically going through different parts of your body, tensing up the muscles, and letting them go. It sounds super simple, but you would be amazed at the results. And there's tons of videos on YouTube on that. And finally, writing it out. Perhaps you want to write a letter to your anger. So what happened? What did you really feel? What can you do to feel better? Maybe someone upset you or someone hurt your feelings. Maybe writing a letter to them and you can share it with them, or you can throw it away, because at the end, this is for you. And again, writing a journal entry about what happened or the person that got you upset. Again, this is all for you. If you don't know where to get started, feel free to try option B, which is trying all of them and then rating them 1 through 4, where 1 is the most helpful for you. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that you learned some really important, valuable information on anger and how you can cope with anger. And as always, remember, you can do hard things. Until next time. Bye, guys.